What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Goat versus fish. 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 That was the same to goat versus fish. Versus fish. That was the same to goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Corvus Red, welcome to Goat versus Fish.
Is the foundation of a healthier world.
That's nice. That's nice. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Mm. The versus is Cuban, but under a different reverse is odd. Is Cuban? It's Cuban beef. Reverse is odd. Is Cuban? It's Cuban beef. Reverse is odd. Is Cuban? It's Cuban beat. Cuban beat. Cuban beat. Cuban beat. Cuban beat. It is a happy fry versus Goat versus Fish attempting audio connection now on Goat versus Fish. We don't know if we're getting audio connection on Goat versus Fish. Cheers to the verses. Cheers to the verses. Welcome, glorious viewers. Welcome, glorious viewers, to Goat versus Fish.
You've been running simulations on a war with Iran. Yeah.
Happy Friday to you, Leia. Happy Friday to you.
Strategy and playing out right now. So
not you. Goat versus Fish. Happy Friday to you, Leia. Happy Friday to you.
And playing out right now. So
not you. Psycho Grandma 6, welcome to Goat versus Fish. We don't know if we're getting audio here on Goat versus Fish. It's very strange. It's a very strange versus. But we suppose we can just continue as it is. We can just continue as it is. Europe. For those of you passing through, I am Goat versus Fish, the Goat Fish. Are you goat or are you fish? Goat. Goat, 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 goat. Well, it seems like a versus. It seems like a mighty versus to goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Acceptable, acceptable to goat versus fish. We begin. We begin with hydration. Corvus is having a shot of rum and vanilla Dr. Pepper. Wow. That's pretty intense. It's a sweet one. Goat versus fish had some fried fish. We fried up some fish. We fried up some fish. It was delish. Salmon on goat versus fish. It's a warm one out. We scarcely want to say that it's a hot versus because it can always get hotter. The versus between goat and fish can always be hotter. What about fried goat? Well, we are going not to fry the goat, but we're going to see some baby goat today. Goat versus fish is going back to the Corbin Bowl tonight because there's a band playing called The Baby Goats. For 10 American dollars, Goat versus Fish bought a ticket, and we're going to see the Baby Goats. They call themselves some kind of electronic punk funk or some such verses. So we had some fish, and then we're going to go listen to some goats. So we're going to make it a well-balanced goat versus fish kind of situation. But you could fry goat. You could fry some delicious goat. Psycho got some Bombay today. Ah. How much? How much Bombay? How much Bombay did you drink today? Can we expect Psycho Grandma 6 to get more psycho with more Bombay consumption? We are going to be sweating this versus. We're going to walk about, and the salty sea of the fish is going to drip off of our brow. We just know it. But it's for the health of goat versus fish. We have to versus. And we have to crank out those glorious watch hours, goat and fish. 365 verses ago on this day. Goat versus fish achieved something like 30 watch hours. They're going away. Now they're going to go away. We have to make up for it, goat and fish. We have to make up for the verses. You ordered it. I need to pick it up. Well, be sure you don't just tank it all before you drive back. Wait until you get back to your evidence and then start consuming it. Your revenant residence. There's a fence. There's a fence next door to goat versus fish. It's falling into the driveway. The fence is falling all over goat versus fish. Irish cream and peach schnapps. Oh, my verses. You just like it so sweet, don't you? You all like it so sweet, don't you? Goat versus fish is sweet enough. Goat versus fish. It's quite sweet enough. Who out there likes it sweet? Threes in the congregation if you like it sweet. Threes in the congregation if you like it sweet. Don't be shy now. Did Goat versus Fish say 201 Psycho Grandma? You're already getting fancy again. You're just getting fancy immediately. Goat versus Fish said threes in the congregation if you like it sweet. That's the verses. What more information do you need? Threes in the chat if you like it sweet. The fish have been a little sweet lately. Mai Tai, oh Mai Tai, that's one. Mai Tai. There are several tiki places here in Los Angeles. There's some excellent tiki places you can go to get a sweet one. Cuban and Psycho are for 3. They like it sweet. Who else here likes it sweet? Make some noise. Make some noise if you like it sweet. Make it sweet as we feel the grass beneath our feet. Have you touched grass today? Goat versus fish is. Goat versus fish touches grass every day. Perhaps it's a privilege of goat versus fish. Connection. Do we have live connection on goat versus fish? It went fence there for a versus. It went fence there for a versus. Do we have connection? We cannot say why, but it's feeling extra heavy to goat versus fish. The stream is weighing heavily on goat versus fish this versus. Why, we cannot say. Howdy, y'all. Bud Morgan. Welcome to Goat versus Fish. Yeah. So, what did you all think of Bird Brain? We know what Psycho Grandma 6 thinks of Bird Brain. Bird Brain has love from Psycho Grandma. What did you all think of the Bird Brain, the insane Bird Brain morning motivational? Goat versus Fish is very proud of the insane brain morning motivational. We are proud to show it to everyone. Say, look, 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 Goat versus Fish. Look at episode 42 of Goat versus Fish. Look at this. We are pleased to share it. We are pleased to say. Said you had great questions. Well, that's great. That's great. So we're going to see the baby goats tonight. And if we like the baby goats, then we will say to, hey, baby goats, why don't you come and be a musical guest on Goat versus Fish? And then we can say, the baby goats are here on Goat versus Fish. If you're a band and you're named Goat and you're named Fish, then there's quite a chance that you could be a guest on Goat versus Fish, just for that versus. Who wouldn't want baby goats making musications on Goat versus Fish? Hello from BBH Fish. Hello, BBH Fish. BBDH Fish. BBDH, do you like it sweet? Do you like it sweet? We are asking for threes. We're asking for threes in the congregation if you'd like it sweet. Goat versus Fish will be streaming for but an hour. This versus. Streaming for but an hour. Gaining a few precious watch hours of Goat versus Fish. Oh. Goat versus Fish is on a green screen now? Well, that's an interesting versus. So Goat versus Fish could put Goat versus Fish behind Goat versus Fish. We could put Goat versus Fish behind Goat versus Fish. That's a fun versus. How about that versus? That could be fun for Goat versus Fish. You can't screenshot or record this. Playables. This is very strange to Goat versus Fish. There should be a way to add a poll or something to this versus. There always is. And yet now it's not allowing Goat versus Fish. There's the versus. 10 viewers equals climb ladder There we are. Here we are in the void together. Here we are in the void together. Can you even, we wonder, could you even see the ladder in the void? How about this? Interesting verses. Very well. We would leave it like this. We will leave it like this until someone says, hey, where's the ladder? Someone says, hey, where's that ladder you're versing about? And then we'll show you. Then we'll show you. You're here for a sweet verses? Oh, you're so sweet. So now, the universe around us is merely an admonition that you can't screen record it. You can't. You just try to screen record Goat versus Fish. It's unversable. It's completely impermanent. This stream you are viewing is completely impermanent. There is no way. There's no way for you to record it. You can't screenshot or record this. It's only meant to be played once. It's only, you can't do it, Psycho Grandma 6. It cannot be done. You think it cannot be done, but it can't. There is no technology capable of screenshotting or recording Goat versus Fish at this versus. You can see your own existence peering through the void on Goat versus Fish. It can't be done. Look, look. You can't screenshot or record this. It's only meant to be replayed once. You can't do it, Goat and Fish. You can't do it. There is no way you can screenshot or record this. This moment in time that you're sharing with Goat versus Fish, it can never be seen again. It can never be witnessed again. It can never be recorded. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do but try to cling to the moment now and try to remember Goat versus Fish. That's it. That's it. What about you? Can you remember this? Can you remember this? Somewhere in the void, there's a ladder to climb. We can climb out of the void. We can climb out of the void. With 10 glorious viewers, we can climb out of the void, but only with 10. Only with 10 can we climb out of the void. It's a strange place. It's a fancy place. It's a fancy place with fences all around us. It's a fancy place with fences all around us. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here but you, the congregation, and Goat versus Fish. The sounds of the void. The sound of Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish persists here in defiance of the void. The void tries. Goat versus Fish persists here in defiance of the void. The void tries to consume Goat versus Fish, tries to envelop Goat versus Fish, tries to silence Goat versus Fish. But Goat versus Fish persists. Defiance against all fences, against all nothingness. Somehow, some way, out of the everlasting nothing, Goat versus Fish exists in the void, in defiance of non-existence. We compel you, dear viewer, to defy non-existence. Are you goat or are you fish? Zeros. Zeros in the congregation. Zeros in the congregation if you defy non-existence. Let's hear it. Let's hear it now. Zeros if you defy non-existence. Oh, hey, I don't know why I didn't get the notification. Well, you can blame YouTube for that. There's a lot of notifications you don't get, but maybe you could check to see if you have clicked, if you are ringing the bell for notifications. Are you ringing the bell for notifications? Are you ringing the bell for notifications? When you subscribe to Goat vs. Fish, once upon a versus, when you subscribed to Goat vs. Fish, you would always be notified about Goat vs. Fish, but then they changed it. Now you won't always know when Goat vs. Fish is doing verses, but you have to ring the bell for notifications. Psycho Grandma 6 does not defy non-existence and does not exist. Eventually gold with the 0 defies non-existence. Eventually gold exists. But Morgan, I have just built a fence and it's very high right now. You just built a fence? Whatever for. Whatever for. Why would you offend Goat vs. Fish? Why would you say this to Goat vs. Fish? Eventually gold rang the bell already. What bell? Why would you say this to Goat vs. Fish? The Fry versus is just beginning. Yester versus was a celebration. There was some inebriation and some relaxation after 4 consecutive verses of morning motivation of Goat vs. Fish. We enjoy a bit of relaxation on Thursday versus, on Goat vs. Fish Thursday. So Goat vs. Fish awaked. Goat vs. Fish awaked. Well rested. We made some consumption. We listened to the Musications by Sunshine. And now, after some hydration, we walk around the infinite void and we have a conversation with you. Sensual Sloth 69 just tore down a fence. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Remember, you can't screenshot or record this. It's only meant to be replayed once. It's cloudy up there on the fence. Well, here in the void, it's neither cloudy nor not cloudy. It just is a sort of emptiness that is neither hot nor cold. Fours in the congregation. Fours if you like it bitter. Fours if you like it bitter. Do you like it bitter? Threes if you like it sweet. Fours if you like it bitter. Tell us about UG, Sensual Sloth. Give us the evidence. Tell us about UG. Sensual Sloth likes it bitter. 69, 369, 369 all the time. You ask, is UG goat or fish? And then you say UG is goat. So why do you ask Goat vs. Fish? Except to share in the information of Goat vs. Fish. Were you trying to test Goat vs. Fish? Absolute nothingness is really something, is it? Doesn't sound like something to Goat vs. Fish. Because he wins. What does he win at? Goat vs. Fish doesn't know UG. Goat vs. Fish doesn't know you from UG. Maybe you're UG. Maybe you are UG. You are more versed than I, indeed. In the verses of UG, you are more versed than Goat vs. Fish. Sometimes when you are familiar with goat versus fish and you tell someone else about goat versus fish, they will say, what the fence are you talking about? We don't understand. To you, goat versus fish is a familiar thing. But to them, goat versus fish is a void in their knowledge. It's just a bunch of nonsensual fence. You might as well be saying fence to goat versus fish. So you really do have to know whom you're talking to. How do you not know about goat versus fish? How do you not know? How do you not know about UG goat versus fish? How do you not know? Well, let's conversate about it. Tell us about UG. Oh, it's the main character of an anime? Well, if it's the main character of an animation, they are usually the most powerful, are they not? What are their powers? What are their powers? What is Yuji's powers? Do goats like to play tic-tac-toe? Hey, goats. Hey, goats in the congregation. Bud Morgan wants to know, do goats like to play tic-tac-toe? Do goats like to play tic-tac-toe? The fishes and the goats, they want me. Like fence posts, they haunt me. But they won't let go. Fishes and goats. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Eventually, Gold says goats like to play tic-tac-toe, but only if they can be X. Tic-tac-toe is, in some ways, very goat versus fish, and in some ways, very not goat versus fish at all. How many of you know how to win at tic-tac-toe every versus? How many of you know how, if you are moving versed in tic-tac-toe, there's one place you should not go. If you're going second in tic-tac-toe, there's only one place you can go. Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Goat versus fish found tic-tac-toe to be a trivial, fancy little versus. One versus goat versus fish. For an hour, engaged with tic-tac-toe. We versus it out. Goat, fish, goat, fish. What if goat goes here? What if fish responds with this? What if fish goes here? What if goat responds with that? And goat versus fish learned. Goat versus fish learned how to versus. Bud Morgan says first player can always win. Well, the first player can always win. The second player can always win. But the second player has a defense. If goat goes first, the fish can force a draw. Every versus. Goat versus fish will ask you this. How many moves are available in tic-tac-toe? Let's say you're going first. You're going first in tic-tac-toe. How many moves are available to you? You are going first in tic-tac-toe. How many moves are available to you? 9, says Bud Morgan. Do we have any dissent? How many moves are available to you in tic-tac-toe? Psychogramma says 5. Goat versus Fish is going to lay some serious knowledge upon you now. You think Goat versus Fish has never engaged with the fence, has never thought about the fence. Oh, Goat versus Fish knows more about the fence than you could ever dream. For you, it is 5 if you start. For the opponent, it is 4. Explain your reasoning to Goat versus Fish. Bud Morgan, why is there 9? Psycho Grandma 6, why is there 5? Explain it as if it were a goat or a fish in their first verses. Today is Friday the 13th. Celebration. Celebration. What a lucky verses. Bud Morgan says you have 9 options if you are going first in tic-tac-toe. Psycho Grandma says 5. Explain yourself to Goat versus Fish. And then Goat versus Fish will tell you the true verses. How many moves are available to the first player in tic-tac-toe? How many moves are available to the first player in tic-tac-toe? Larry Susan swims with a fish. Celebration for fish. Celebration for fish. Larry Susan. You can't screenshot or record this. It's only meant to be replayed once. We just want you to know. We just want you to know that. Last month had a friend, 13, and also 9, I declare. Live in the now. Live in the now. Psycho Grandma 6 says, my reason is math. If you start in tic-tac-toe, the board has 9 total spaces. Players take turns 1 mark at a time. Since you go first, you will have the first, 3rd, 5th, and 7th and 9th moves. Ah, well, Goat versus Fish is speaking only of the first move. How many options are available to you on the first move? We are not asking how many moves are available to you for the whole game. We are saying you are going first. It's tic-tac-toe. How many options are available to you for your first move? Can you explain why none of the 3 goats were named Gruff, but their last name was Gruff? Perhaps because their last name was Gruff. That was a real goat response. Psycho Grandma 6 says a lot of things that are very goat or fish, and yet they still deny that they are goat or fish. Forgotten Virtue, welcome. Forgotten Virtue says there are 9 squares, however, I say 3. 3 moves. 3 moves. Explain yourself to Goat versus Fish. Why are there only 3 moves for the one who goes first in tic-tac-toe? 9 squares, 3 moves. How revengefulous. Forgotten Virtue says middle, corner, or side. And it is with great pride, Goat and Fish, that we say Forgotten Virtue speaks a true verses. Forgotten Virtue speaks the true verses. For those who go first in tic-tac-toe, there are but 3 moves available to you. Corner, side, middle. Let us suppose you go into one corner. Let us suppose you go into one corner. You may say, but there are 3 other corners with which to choose. But ponder this. By a simple rotation of the board, your corner is now in a different corner. And by simple rotation again, it's now in a third. And by simple rotation again, it is now in a fourth. No matter what corner you choose, if you merely look at the fence from a different angle, your move will be somewhere else. In other verses, each corner move is not distinct from any other corner move, not when it's the first move. You could go in any corner for the first move, and the way that the game will play out, well, it depends. It depends on if the goat goes to the corner, then it depends on what the fish does next. But when it's the first move, any corner is the same. Any side is the same. And of course, the middle is its own verses. So you may think, well, what will the stratagem be differently if I go in this corner or that, if I go to this side or that? It won't. Corner, side, middle. Those are your 3 verses when you go first in tic-tac-toe. 3 moves. If the sea rises to the top of the mountain, has fish conquered goat? Sea levels are rising, it is said. Some say this is a conspiracy. Some say this is a conspiracy. But what it really is fish creating conditions to raise the sea level so it can claim goat land. Fish are playing the long verses. Why versus every goat? Why versus every goat at here and there when we could versus all the goats at once by raising the sea level of the fish? If the sea levels rise above the highest mountain of goat, they made a verses about this. It was called Water World. Do you remember this? They made a verses called Water World. It was all about what if the sea of the fish rose to the height of the goat. The height of Goat Mountain. Who saw Water World? One's in the congregation if you saw Water World. But even in that verses, the goats persisted. They persisted. Even if the water rises to the highest mountain of goat, goat will survive. Goat will survive. Goat have new technology. Scuba goat, boat goat. It'll be hard verses for goat. It will be very hard verses for goat, but goat will survive. Or perhaps they will simply travel to other planets. And goat versus fish will continue. Will goat become fish? It has been known to happen. 10 viewers. Are you goat or fish? Canoe goat? Yes, canoe goat. Dragon Balls, welcome to Goat versus Fish. So in tic-tac-toe, you have 3 moves. If you go first, what is the proper move? If you want to triumph in tic-tac-toe and you are going first, you have 3 moves available. Corner, side, center. What is the proper move? If you wish to win. You're playing tic-tac-toe. You want to win. You're going first. What's the move? You're about to climb that ladder. We're very close. We're very close to climbing the ladder. You can't even see the ladder in the void. But once we have those 10 viewers, once we maintain those 10 viewers, then suddenly the void will open up. We will see the ladder and we will use it to climb out of the void together. Dragon Ball says side. Bud Morgan says center. Why the center, Bud Morgan? Why the center? Dragon Ball 325, why the side? Why is the side the first move in tic-tac-toe? Why is the center? We want justification. We want justification. Goat and fish demand your justifications. We want your justifications. Right here, right now. If you are new to Goat vs. Fish, like and subscribe to Goat vs. Fish. Tell us your justifications. Justify your existence right now. I am Goat vs. Fish, and we are asking you to do the most amazing thing. Justify your existence now. In the chat, in the congregation. We want justification. We're in the void. You can't screenshot or record this, and we want your justifications. We want your justifications for existence. Oh, we'll climb that ladder. Oh, we'll climb that ladder. We're about to climb the ladder. We're about to climb it. What is your justification for existence? Dragon Ball 325 says center I feel like is limited. Psycho Grandma says the best first move is the center square. It's strongest because it connects it to 4 possible winning lines, rows, columns, and 2 diagonals, giving you the most chances to create 3 in a row and control the board. Eventually, gold exists only as entropy. Psycho Grandma, your verses are false. Your verses are false again. You are thinking in the way of the fence sitter. You want to leave all options open. But Goat vs. Fish, we've observed the fence of tic-tac-toe. We've observed it. By going in the center and leaving all options, what you perceive to be all options open to you, by going in the center, you simply ensure a draw. You ensure a draw. You ensure that it's more drawable. Of course, if you're a goat and they're fish, then the fish could fence it all up and give you the win. But if you go in the center first, then the next player, be they goat or fish, can go on any side or in any quarter and still force a draw. It does not matter where they go. A draw can still be forced if you start by going in the center. However, in tic-tac-toe, if you start by going on the corner or the side, then the next player has but one option. If you go first on the corner or the side in tic-tac-toe, and then the next player goes in the center, then that player can force a draw. However, if you begin on the corner or the side, and then the next player goes on a different corner or a different side, not in the center, then you have already won. Then you have already won. Goat versus fish. We could do a demonstration for you. We could demonstration all of the verses of tic-tac-toe. The fence is only a defense. The center versus is only a defense. The center can only force a draw. First, you go corner or side. Second versus. In defense, you must go in the center to force a draw. If you don't, then you lose, and player 1 wins. Do it. Give you demonstration. Well, first we climb the ladder. It's time to climb the ladder. It's time to get out of the void. Time to get out of the void. We're out of the void. And what have we here? How did we get out? The ladder. It's time. It's time to climb towards the skies. It's time to climb towards the skies. We've done it. We're out of the void. We've made it. We've done it. And it's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you. Live streaming can feel like a void. It can feel like speaking into the everlasting nothing. And that is why we appreciate every member of the congregation here with Goat vs. Fish. Like and subscribe to Goat vs. Fish. Help Goat vs. Fish out of the void. Don't jump, bro. Don't do it. 10, let's go. Goat and Fish, we're back down to 8. Back down to 8. They saw it. They stuck around. They wanted to see Goat vs. Fish climb the ladder. Goat vs. Fish gave them their just rewards, and as soon as Goat vs. Fish gave them their rewards, they are gone. Such is the verses of a streamer of Goat vs. Fish. No, Bud Morgan, I have never seen War Games from the 1980s. Psychogramma says, I challenge you to tic-tac-toe. Well, do you want to go first, or do you want to go second? Don't record this. Whatever you do, don't record this green screen challenge. Whatever you do, don't record this green screen challenge. Goat vs. Fish does not give you permission to upload and use this green screen image of Goat vs. Fish. And if you do, then Goat vs. Fish is coming after you. You can go first to showcase your verses. Upper left corner. Do you have the mental fortitude to challenge Goat vs. Fish? Upper left corner. Psychogramma says 6 middle. Well, Goat and Fish. Well. Left side. Does Goat vs. Fish have lodging accommodations for a family of 4? 4 and Goat vs. Fish? Well, anything can be an accommodation. This much you know. You do know that anything can be an accommodation. It all depends on your expectation of Goat vs. Fish. Psychogramma 6 says lower left side. Lower left side? You mean lower left corner, you fence-sitter. You get your verses straight. Goat vs. Fish. Upper right corner. Psychogramma 6 goes top center. Bottom center, replies Goat vs. Fish. As you can see, it is a tie. Just as was predicted by Goat versus Fish. It matters not where you go, and where Goat versus Fish follows. It's a tie versus. There's no triumph. As predicted by Goat versus Fish, if Goat versus Fish, if the first versus goes in the corner or the side, and the second player responds with the center, then it shall be a draw. Unless the other player fences up. Anyone can always fence up, of course. But if both Goat and Fish play to win, optimal stratagem to win, and one begins by going corner or side, they have a chance to win. But if the second player, be they Goat or Fish, responds with center, then a draw can be forced. But Goat versus Fish, we can challenge you. Watch this. Let us suppose you don't go in the center. Let us suppose you don't go in the center, Psycho Grandma 6, just for the sake of conversation. Goat versus Fish goes top corner. Go somewhere that's not the center. And if you lose, you can blame Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish goes top left corner. Go somewhere not the center. Goat versus Fish will give you a demonstration. Anywhere in the verses. Bottom right corner. Easy verses. Goat versus Fish goes bottom left corner. Goat versus Fish is now in the top left corner and the bottom left corner. Psycho Grandma 6 is in the bottom right corner. It's Psycho Grandma's move. Goat versus Fish responds bottom left corner. Goat versus Fish is in the top left corner, the bottom left corner. Psycho Grandma 6 is in the bottom right corner. It's Psycho Grandma's move. You have to play defense. You have to play defense, Psycho Grandma. Center left indeed, as we predicted, Goat versus Fish, yes. Now Goat versus Fish responds. Top right corner. Goat versus Fish is in the top left corner, the bottom left corner, the top right corner. Psycho Grandma 6 is in the bottom right corner. And the left side. It's a triumph for Goat versus Fish, as we predicted, If you begin the verses by going on the corner or the side, and your opponent does not go in the middle, you win. You win if you don't fence it up. If you start the verses by going in the middle, then your opponent can force a draw. If you start the verses by going in the side or the corner, your opponent goes in the middle, they can force a draw. So here is a lesson of Goat versus Fish. The temptation is to go in the center. You say, the center leaves all options available to me. The most chances to win. So if I'm playing tic-tac-toe and I begin, I will go in the center. All options open. This is the fence-sitterly way. You merely force a draw, you merely fence the whole verses by starting by going in the center. If you wish to win in tic-tac-toe, it requires commitment. This corner, that side. Then and only then do you have a true chance to triumph. But of course, your opponent can just fence it all up by going in the center. For the center is not a place to win or to lose. It's simply a place not to choose, to force a draw. So there you have it, goat and fish. The fence sitter is drawn towards the center, but it cannot triumph there. It will never triumph there. A triumph for goat versus fish. It is quite respectable, Psycho Grandma 6. But you admit this. You should have started next to goat versus fish. Ah, so you do not wish to go in the corner. You wish to go somewhere else. Well, then let us try again. Goat versus fish begins top left corner, which is the same as any corner, but let us just, for the sake of goat versus fish, say top left corner. Try again. You responded by going in a corner. Try a different move. You want to go next? You want to go next to goat versus fish. Try if you wish. Top center, you say. Top center, you say. Goat versus fish is top left. Psycho Grandma is top center. Goat versus fish. Bottom left corner. Goat versus fish is in the top left corner, the bottom left corner. Psycho Grandma 6 is in the top center. It is Psycho Grandma's move. Left center. Blocking goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Center. Goat versus fish goes center. If we wished, we could also go bottom right. We could go bottom right corner, or we could go center, but we're going center. Goat versus fish is in the top left, the bottom left, and the center. It's a triumph again for goat versus fish. BBDH187 is thinking, processing something? Ah, that was for fence. So we assure you, Psycho Grandma 6, if goat versus fish starts in the corner, and you go anywhere, except the center, it's a win for goat versus fish. Every single versus. You can go in the opposite corner, you can go next to goat versus fish, you can go far from goat versus fish. If you do not respond with the center, then you will lose. Goat versus fish does not have to start in the corner. Goat versus fish could start on the side and do the same versus. Of course, if you respond by going to the center, it forces a draw. But let's try this in the verses. Goat versus fish starts top center. Goat versus fish starts top center. This is a demonstration. You may go anywhere except... We are going top center, or we are calling it top side. Top side. Does anyone wish to reply? If you go in the center, it's a draw. This is already known. This is a demonstration of goat versus fish. We are a demonstration now that we can force a win if you do not respond with the center. Goat versus fish goes top side, or top center if you prefer. Thank you for being here with goat versus fish. Accumulating watch hours on goat versus fish. Psycho Grandma 6, you may do middle if you wish, and it will be a draw. It'll be a draw with goat versus fish, but as you wish. Goat versus fish. We must be careful here. Let's ponder this. Hmm. Hmm. Let us ponder this indeed. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Let us ponder this. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish will go top right corner. Goat versus fish has gone top center and top right. Psychogramma 6 is in the middle. It's your move. Psychogramma says bottom left. Well, then goat versus fish goes top left, and it's a triumph for goat versus fish. It's a triumph. Goat versus fish does triumph. You fenced it up, Psychogramma 6. Goat versus fish began top center, then we went top right corner, and then we go top left corner, and it's a triumph for goat versus fish. You fenced it up. The true verses would have been to go top left to block goat versus fish. That leaves goat versus fish top center, top right, Psychogramma 6 center, and top left. This forces goat versus fish to go bottom right to block a diagonal from top left to bottom right. Goat versus fish goes bottom right. Goat versus fish goes bottom right. Goat versus fish is now top right and bottom right, forcing Psychogramma 6 to go center side right to block goat versus fish. By going center side right to block goat versus fish, it aligns center side right with the center of Psychogramma 6. This forces goat versus fish to go left side. And now all that remains is bottom left corner and bottom side. And neither of these will yield triumph for either goat or for fish. Lol, y'all love that tic-tac-toe gamer? Goat versus fish is merely providing a demonstration of goat versus fish. Maybe goat versus fish. Maybe we do this. Maybe goat versus fish. We play tic-tac-toe. We play tic-tac-toe with the chat on the next goat versus fish morning motivational. If you defeat goat versus fish will gift a sub to the congregation. You've heard chess gamers, but not tic-tac-toers. Well, there are those who say, there are those who would claim that chess is merely a very complicated versus of tic-tac-toe. And so there are some who say, well, there's no point. There's no point. If chess is just a complicated versus of tic-tac-toe, then what's the point of what's the point of even versing? But that's a conversation for another versus. That's a conversation for another versus. It's time for goat versus fish. Oh no, goat versus fish. You're not going to end the stream, are you? Oh, yes, we are. It was a glorious 1 hour walk of goat versus fish, grinding out those watch hours one by one. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Goat versus Fish will enjoy another hydration with you to gain watch hours more, just a few. What a privilege, what an honor. Eventually, gold is blazing for Goat versus Fish. Come, have a drink. Have a drink with Goat versus Fish. Celebration. If you are new to viewing Goat versus Fish, please like and subscribe to Goat versus Fish. If you are old to viewing Goat versus Fish, consider once again to join the Patreon of Goat versus Fish. Many of you here are already fine patrons of Goat versus Fish. But Goat versus Fish is here. We're here to give you lots of content, lots of streams of Goat versus Fish. And your contribution in the Patreon of Goat versus Fish, it's going to be a long versus. There's no studio paying Goat versus Fish. There's no big contract for Goat versus Fish. It all comes down to the support of the congregation like you to help grow and to help Goat versus Fish get through. So appreciation to all members of the patreon.com/Goat versus Fish congregation. I'm brewing late coffee so I can put something decent in my Goat versus Fish mug. Celebration for the Goat versus Fish mug. Goat versus Fish ordered a mug. Goat versus Fish ordered ourselves a mug and a towel. Some other verses. Thank you for your love for Goat versus Fish. For all of your contributions to Goat versus Fish, as grand and many as they are, Goat versus Fish still runs at a very hefty loss, you could say. One could say of Goat versus Fish, as it is now the season of taxation, that it would appear that for every one American dollar of income received by Goat versus Fish, we're spending 4 times as much on Goat versus Fish to improve Goat versus Fish. So any contribution you can make to Goat versus Fish is very appreciated. We will find every way to continue Goat versus Fish because we know it is important to the congregation and it's important to Goat versus Fish. There are those who value Goat versus Fish. There are those who swear by Goat versus Fish. Psycho Grandma says, sure, I'll send another 10 today. Appreciation. Appreciation for your continued contribution to Goat versus Fish. Appreciation. Goat versus Fish needs to get in touch with T1B. T1B has been missing from Goat versus Fish. We want so desperately to give him VIP treatment, and yet they're missing from Goat versus Fish. Appreciation for 10 to Goat versus Fish. Appreciation. Well, if we don't hear them, we'll just have to reverse the verses. We'll just have to choose another VIP. T1B will come back eventually, but we need to get on with these verses. Hydration. The baby goats. We wonder if we can live stream the baby goats show from the Corbin Bowl. Wouldn't that be a versus? You could say, hey, baby goats, I'm Goat versus Fish. Do you mind if we live stream the baby goats? But perhaps not. We'll have to see. Did you let Birdbrain keep the egg? Birdbrain took a picture of the egg, but the egg is still here. Get a game board and some action figures to Mornings versus XO. We don't need to get a game board. We can just draw it on the board of Goat versus Fish. Yes, the Birdbrain versus was very grand indeed. It took a lot of preparation for Goat versus Fish. We had to place the toxic waste everywhere. We had to get some more movies on the Goat versus Fish televerses. But it also inspired Goat versus Fish to make the Goat versus Fish versus Radioactive Chicken Heads playlist on YouTube. If you go into the Twitch chat and type !RCH, you will see a Goat versus Fish versus Radioactive Chicken Heads playlist on YouTube. Goat versus Fish has too many playlists on YouTube. We have to tidy up the verses. And let us not forget, Goat and Fish, that Fish won 4 in a row. Fish are on a 4-win streak. Yes, we could play games. You could play more games on Goat versus Fish. And we could do games of computation, but we could also do games of, like, we're playing the physical versus with you and the congregation against Goat versus Fish, congregation versus Goat versus Fish, battleship. But then you would have to somehow know. Could be a difficult versus. Sunshine versus Goat versus Fish Battleship. Psycho Grandma, you want to be leader of the goat. Why not be leader of the fish? Are you trying to exploit the weakness of goat? Are you trying to come to goat in a time of fear and desperation? You're losing, goat. You must put your trust in me. I'm the only one who can make the goat win. The goat and fish in the congregation of Goat versus Fish, they value their freedom. They have never designated a leader as such, but this could be the beginning of a new versus. BBDH187 is gloating against Goat. Gloating against Goat. So many ways to verses, so many smart ways to verse. Smart ways to goat verse fish, so many smart ways to verse. With 6 glorious viewers of Goat versus Fish would have to stream 500 hours in order to achieve 3,000 watch hours in order to achieve 3,000 watch hours. But we do not trouble ourselves with these verses. All we know is that in the long verses, if we spend more time with you, then the verses will become true. BBDH187 says, we don't need a leader, but someone needs to choose goat or fish. My margaritas rocks is gone. Should I sangria or beer now? Well, we did ask a versus of goat versus fish earlier, Bud Morgan. We said 3s in the congregation if you like it sweet, 4s in the congregation if you like it bitter. Sounds like that's the little verses you're engaging in right now. Someone could be a valuable asset to either goat or fish. And instead of being an asset, you're just being an ass. An ass on the fence. Can't spell asset without ass. But you also can't spell asset without tss. An ass that could lead to continuous victory. Well, that's a formula for a viral Instagram sensation. Maybe Psycho Grandma 6, maybe your calling is to be an Instagram star. Maybe Goat versus Fish should stream on Pornhub. There's someone who does calculus on Pornhub. Maybe Goat versus Fish streams to Pornhub. Wouldn't that be a fun versus? Yes, you can do it for sure. Only fins. That could be an interesting versus. Goat versus Fish could stream to Pornhub. Then we could have nudity on Goat versus Fish. Wouldn't that be an interesting versus? Goat versus fish, not just for kids anymore. The feat of goat versus fish. Yes, we are considering starting an OnlyFans for the feat of goat versus fish. They are award-winning feet after all. Just feet and belly rolls. Goat versus fish au natural. What is there to hide? What do you have to hide from goat versus fish? Lots of messages being held for review all of a sudden. Who could guess why? This turns into the Ding Dong Show quite quickly indeed. The Ding Dong Show is sold out at the Comedy Store Los Angeles for May 4th. Sold out at the Ding Dong Show. One and a half more glorious minutes of streaming Goat and Fish. It was quick. It is quick. Goat versus Fish. Netflix is a joke. Celebration. A once again appreciation to you, the congregation of Goat versus Fish. For some, Goat versus Fish is a dream. But when you choose the team of Goat or Fish, and when you choose to support Goat versus Fish, you make Goat versus Fish all the more real with each passing versus. Goat versus Fish. Big plans for the morning motivation. Big plans for the Church of Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish morning motivations. Goat versus Fish evening inspirations. Was it Dawn that reached out to get on Netflix? Goat versus Fish does not know such details. It might have to do with the Comedy Store itself, we think. It would not be Netflix is a joke without the Comedy Store Los Angeles, a place of Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish would love to stay and play, but it's been an hour and a half of Goat versus Fish, and we must bid you a fair versus celebration. Celebration for the Goat and Fish. And a one final, are you Goat or Fish? If you are happening to be skimming through, please like and subscribe to Goat versus Fish. And if you are subscribed to Goat versus Fish, be sure to ring the bell for notifications to get more information about Goat versus Fish. Go on, tell someone you know who has never heard of Goat versus Fish about the one true versus. Help to share Goat versus Fish today. I'll send that 10 later. Appreciation whenever you wish, Psycho Grandma 6. We will not even hold you to it. We are just pleased that you support Goat versus Fish. Until next versus, BPH. Until next versus.